All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast. My name is Kenny and Ziska. Appreciate you tuning in. I've got a great episode lined up for you guys today. If you haven't been following me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, etc., I often do live videos, and what I wanted to do today is share the audio from one of those live videos with you today. I try to take the most popular videos that I've done, extract the audio, and share it with you here on the podcast, so that you don't have to go around hunting on Facebook to find these very raw and kind of off the cuff, non-rehearsed, non-scripted episodes that I do. So I hope you guys enjoy these episodes that I share with you guys. But before we get into today's episode, just have a very quick reminder, actually a couple reminders for you guys. Number one, if you haven't already done so, would appreciate it if you take the time to go over to iTunes. Made it easy for you guys. Just go to kenyanziska.com/iTunes. Take you right to the page where you can leave a review, leave a rating, subscribe to the show, and also if you know of someone who would benefit from hearing the various strategies, mindset, the tools, whatever it may be, whatever we talk about here on the podcast, if you know someone who would benefit from listening to it, would appreciate it if you share it with them. Would appreciate it if you got the word out about what we're talking about here. So secondly, if you want to take these strategies and tools and really implement them and need the guidance and the accountability to do so, we have a couple opportunities for you guys to do that. First is our mastermind. This is a tight-knit group of guys who are doing the work necessary to implement these various strategies that we talk about here on the podcast into their lives so that they can get the results, build the discipline, regain control over their time, and live life on their terms. You can apply to be a part of our mastermind program, the Infinite Results Mastermind Program, at kenyanziska.com/results. But if you want that one-on-one accountability, want to work with me on a very deep level, and want customized solutions, don't want that cookie cutter BS that a lot of people are pushing these days, I encourage you to apply to be a part of my discipline coaching program. This is an elite program, exclusive program, very limited with the number of clients that I take on with this program. So you can apply at kenyanziska.com/discipline. So without any further ado, let's jump into today's episode.
How's it going, everyone? Happy Friday. On my way home from work again. Thought I'd hop on here and share a quick thought that I had that I had today. And it's one of those things that I think there's a lot of people out there who think in absolutes. There's a lot of people who want things to be one way but not that way. And in life, there's no absolutes, and I don't want to say there's no absolutes. There are some very select few absolutes, but the vast majority of things are, they're dichotomies, as Jocko Willink pointed out in his book, The Dichotomy of Leadership, that we fall along, along a scale, certain ways, and our skills are, our speaking abilities and our intelligence, our strengths, our weaknesses. Nothing is black and white, and I think that a lot of people get caught up in the thinking that things should be a very specific way, that things should be black and white, that everything should be either positive or negative, that things are either good or bad. And if we, I find myself falling into this trap a lot personally. I'm not going to pretend that I'm perfect with this line of thinking either, but anytime that I have expectations of things being a certain way, I wind up disappointing myself or being disappointed. And we assume that things are gonna work out positively, or we dread things that we think are going to turn out negatively. And I think if we could adopt the mindset that, every positive has a negative, and every negative has a positive, and we see the bigger picture here, and that we don't get wrapped around the axle that things have to be this way, or things have to be a certain specific way. We're setting ourselves up for huge disappointments and failures, and not that failures are bad. What's up, Dave? Thanks for joining in. Just talking about getting people out of thinking in the mindset of absolutes and black and white and good, bad, and just having things be one at one end of the scale or the other. And I think life is beautiful because things can shift along a scale at any one point in time and keep things interesting. And I've just seen so many things today that whether it's listening to a podcast this morning, brought this up, a couple of circumstances at work. I'm not going to get into the specifics to protect the innocent. Just seeing things today that brought that bubble to the surface for me with this topic today. And I think if we can get out of the mindset of that, I think this world will be a whole lot better. Yes. Can you hold to those? Bubba's asking, what if you make those expectations known, can you not hold to those? I think it's good to have expectations in many different circumstances, but to hold those as an absolute drop-dead expectation in certain situations, I think can be counterproductive, because we can hold on to those way too tightly and beat ourselves up and affect ourselves negatively with those. So I think if we can think about, okay, this may or may not work out. What are all of the different scenarios that can come out of this situation, and not just have that one expectation to hang on to. I think is at least the approach that I like to take is like, okay, I have a specific outcome that I want to achieve, but if I don't achieve this outcome, what am I gonna learn? How am I gonna approach it if I fall short of that expectation, and how am I gonna learn from all of that? So I'm just trying to think of a way to appropriately tell the story of what happened today. But essentially, we had at the base today, we have a derelict pier that we tie up to, and we had a very specific expectation of what we can and cannot do. And because we were in the middle of a maintenance period, we came under certain scrutiny, and the crew members had a very specific expectation on how they can conduct affairs on the pier on a day-to-day basis. And it caused essentially an hour and a half meeting, because people were clinging on to their expectations that things have to be a certain way here, that things cannot change. We've done things this way for years. Now all of a sudden things change, and it's causing this huge this churn and upheaval of our procedures and our processes. So I think I said that politically correct, but that's really what brought this to my attention today. Heard something similar talked about on another podcast I listened to, and that's a slippery slope to allow slack, though. Yeah, like I said, there's certain things that we probably should hold fast to. Like, there's some standards that we hold ourselves to, but when it comes to executing on those, I think the best way I can describe that, Bubba, is stay married to the result, but be willing to divorce the strategy that it's going to take to get you to that. I think we also get locked into a specific way that we want to approach things, and that, I think that's what I was trying to convey earlier, is that it comes down to the strategy that you employ plus the outcome that you want to achieve. And I talk about this on the podcast too, is the fact that a few years ago I was trying to get back on active duty in the Navy, and long story short, that didn't work out. So I started to apply to civilian jobs within the Navy, doing that's cool, Bubba. I love it though. Keep pushing back. I love it. So I started to apply to civilian jobs, doing similar things that I'm used to doing on active duty in the Navy. That didn't work out. So I found this job here in Charleston working for NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, on one of their ships. Happens to be a former Navy ship on the former Navy base here in Charleston, and my office happens to be the former senior enlisted men's lounge or hangout area. So that if I were rigid on that very specific outcome of getting back on active duty, and I stayed locked into that, I would never be where I'm at today. I would never be in a nice tropical location. I'm driving home right now. I'm going to pick my wife and daughter up and go to the beach. I would never be able to do that if I stayed locked in on that very, very specific outcome. And I think if we can stop thinking in terms of absolutes, I absolutely need to do this. Well, broaden your horizons. What are some other things? What are the other possibilities? And if we stay locked into that one possibility, then we're really limiting our options. So I think that's what I'm trying to convey. I know I'm all over the place with this live, but it's good. I love the conversation, and appreciate Bubba and Dave and Jason hopping on here. If you're catching the replay, let me know that you watch the replay, and hope you guys have a kick-ass weekend. Oh, almost forgot to mention, if you guys are wanting to take some of these strategies and topics and stuff to a deeper level, and want to do this in a group setting with some other guys who are looking to implement some strategies into their life, I'm offering a 5-week discipline deep dive course starting April 1st. There's going to be a small investment that you'll need to make to join us, but need to put a little skin in the game for stuff like that. But just go to kenyanziska.com/DDD to sign up, get enrolled. And for people who sign up as early birds here, the first half of March, we'll get rolling right away. I already got a couple guys who we're going to be starting meeting next week and getting going on this early, getting to know each other, and start kicking some ass. There's a couple things that that I need to tighten down myself too, so I'm looking forward to facilitating some growth in a group setting here. And like I said, get signed up, and if you have any questions, shoot them my way. All right, guys, have a kick-ass weekend, and I'll chat with you later.